keep striving for this religion that we preach. Keep pushing for nothing's ever out of reach. Because the time we keep on driving, it's all that much we go. The time we keep on fighting, and these colors I wear will be sold through the skins of my soul.
And welcome to another edition of the Luton Town International Podcast. Obviously, been a few matches since we've done them. The Liverpool game, we're not going to go into too much. Suffice to say, this beer's on Gav because he actually did follow through. I predicted 1-1. He did follow through. I forgot he'd even done that, and he sent me the money for beer. So fair play, Gav, on that one.
And in conjunction with that, I am also drinking Stella, and it tastes like dirty water. And don't ask me how I know how that tastes, but it tastes like dirty water.
You're in America. You can't really talk about beer.
Next week, we're doing wine. Got to get you a bit cultured.
Really? Okay, I'll pretend it's wine coming from cans. Simple.
You can get wine in cans. What are you talking about?
Yeah. And obviously, we didn't record after that one. We're not going to go into it because I think it's probably been done to death. There was also the Man United game, which we're not really going to bother mentioning because Gav's just going to sort of, wax lyrical about Man United scoring the odd goal.
Victor Lindelof is the greatest defender that ever played a game.
Yeah, exactly. We'll move past that one. But, I was on a holiday, so we can do that one. So now I'm back. Gav can actually do a podcast again because he actually needs someone sensible.
Yeah, I need someone to actually show me how to do this shit because I did actually record one while you were away on vacation enjoying yourself. And it didn't record. No sound.
Oh, okay.
Video was fine, just no sound. So I apologize to my mate. But yeah, no sound whatsoever. Apparently I need Nick to be here to be able to record.
I do have that technical know-how just to be here to make things work. I can look at the computer and it's working, so it starts working, but so, right, on to the Palace game, one I actually got to. Now, my record games this season was lost, drawn. I was thinking it's got to be due a win. And we got the win. But it was, I would say it's hard work, but any win is going to be hard work here. First half, I was thinking it's Kaminski, absolutely superb double save. I don't think we were overly in trouble. We weren't really threatening, Gav.
No, we didn't really threaten at all, but as you said, Kaminski with some fantastic saves. And I will point out that anyone who says anyone other than Kaminski for man of the match on Saturday needs their fucking head checked. I know a lot of people are ranting and raving about certain players, which we'll probably get on to later. But if you do not think Kaminski saved us from getting nothing, a point or less out of that game, then check your head, mate. Because Kaminski was, and I haven't been his biggest fan this season. I think he's made some howlers, but he was shot stopping wise, he was fantastic. And I think Mick actually said this in our group chat that he doesn't command his area, and I don't think he does. I don't think he does a great job of that. But shot stopping, Jesus Christ, he was phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's man of the match could actually be debatable on those ones as well. I mean, Kaminski is definitely in the shout, but I mean, there are a couple of others there. Ross Barkley, I'm going to say on that one, throw in there. Now, Ross Barkley, he's getting, especially when you see him from the angle I saw him, he is absolutely fantastic the way he can shift the ball. The passes he saw, I mean, obviously the club have released a video with some, there's a couple of 50-yard passes. He just turned with his back to them, picked out Doughty perfectly on both times, I think.
Yeah, so I think on one of them took a touch and he probably didn't need to take a touch. I mean, here's the thing. Like, I know everyone's waxing lyrically about Ross Barkley, but I think if that Palace game showed us anything compared to the United game and the Liverpool games, which were, although we lost one, although we only picked up 1 point from those two games and we beat Palace, the performance against United and Liverpool was better. And I think the reason why the performances against United and Liverpool was better was Nakamba. It's pure and simple. We missed that guy, and I think Ross Barkley misses him, because I've spoken on this podcast before. Ross Barkley, technically on the ball, is a phenomenal player. But there's a reason he's playing for Luton Town, and it's the other aspect of his game. And the other aspect of his game, I don't think has gotten necessarily any better. It's just that he's making moments now in the game that just stand out. Like the passes to Doughty, like the second pass, like just the simple things of knowing what's behind them, releasing the ball at the right time. They're all stuff that we knew Ross Barkley had. So here's the thing: we don't have a player. Maybe Lokonga. We don't have a player like Nakamba. Nakamba does all the dirty stuff. Nakamba won't. I'm not saying it's not in his arsenal, but you won't sit there and watch Nakamba play 50, 60-yard balls.
No.
But the role he plays in the team is absolutely needed. And Barkley was great on Saturday. He was. But if you're asking me, man of the match, Kaminski would be ahead of him. Mengi would be ahead of him. Osho would be ahead of him. And this is nothing against Ross Barkley. Everyone's waxing lyrically about him, and I understand why. Like, we haven't really had a player like that in the team for a long, long time. But some of the comments I'm seeing, like, greatest player I've ever seen play at Kenilworth Road. Jesus Christ, I hope you weren't born in the 80s. Because Ricky Hill would have something to say to you.
I think comments like maybe a bit over the top. I mean, I think it was just sort of, you did see he had got some real quality in the ball. The other one I'd have picked out would be Ogbeni. I mean, it was actually noticeable Ogbeni attacking. Doughty was the same as well. When he was attacking, Palace were trebling up on them.
I do want to pull you up on something. You said Doughty can play right or left back. He's definitely more comfortable on the left.
He's left-footed. I mean, he can do it right, but he is better on the left. So
and that was plainly obvious to me in the Palace game that he needs to be, and it's going to be a thing now, because if Kabore does come back like we expect him to, what's going to happen there? Because Bell played really, really well defensively and going forward on that left wing back row. And the three center halves played extremely well as well. So you're not like, it's great now that defensively we have options. But at the same point, what do you change for the Brentford, if anything?
I mean, Brentford away is a tough game. I think on that one, you almost want Bell's defensive qualities more than you want Kabore's attacking one to bring in there.
Definitely.
But then the home games, you might be obviously Man City, you don't have a choice. Kabore can't play in that one. But some of the others, the home games, you want Kabore and Doughty both attacking on their natural flanks, going through, doubling up with Benny. See where we go from there. Now, actually, on that one, a wing play, there's something Match of the Day brought up. Luton ranked first in successful crosses this season in the Premier League.
And how many games has Ryan Giles played? And how many games has Ryan Giles played?
Well,
exactly
3 or 4.
Exactly.
But I said Luton as a team.
No, yeah. And like the thing was, when Giles was brought in, it was very much, he can cross the ball. He's a great crosser of the ball. Did we really?
Well, actually, if you have a look at the stats on per player stats on some of those who crossed it in, I think Giles is second or third actually in this sort of, the player who's actually crossed the ball in most for Luton, despite not starting many games.
Doughty's probably heaven.
Doughty's got the second most crosses in the entire Premier League.
I mean, I get wanting competition, but I did not understand the Giles signing. I didn't. I think we needed a right wing back more. I would have preferred, and maybe a right wing back wasn't available, or who they wanted wasn't available, but I would have preferred to have a right wing back that wasn't on loan, brought in rather than Giles. And this, again, it's nothing against Giles. It takes people time to settle into a new club and a new way of playing football, and I get all that. He could maybe eat my words in a year's time and be Luton's best player. And I would have no problem with it.
It's short and medium term, isn't it? I mean, I think Giles is a great cross the ball. He can go through. Doughty's got a little bit more defensively about him, and he can cross the ball in as well. And I think Giles isn't trusted defensively at the moment. Yeah,
I think you hit the nail on the head there. Doughty defensively is a lot better than Giles, and I think Doughty as well has that nastiness about him. Like, you could see him talking smack to some of the Palace players on Saturday. You could see it. It was obvious he was doing it. He was having a great time doing it too.
Smack.
Talking smack, talking shit, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, we're not American, even if you live there.
I live here, you know. But it was obvious. It was obvious that he's got that nastiness about his game, which isn't a problem. Like, you need that.
Yeah. I mean, we got 6 bookings. I think he may have been one of them. I lost track of his actually books. I saw a couple. There was some that were bits of, soft, and I think Palace got away with some just about the same. On to the second half anyway. I think we started pushing a lot more, threatening a bit more. And then Palace scored. Now, when Palace scored, other than Survivor, I was just thinking, oh, for fuck's sake. Somebody beside me said that was handball, wasn't it? Then you saw Chong basically waving his arm out, so, passing his arm, saying handball. And I was thinking, now, VAR, do your job. We've got one job here to do. And they took an age to review it. And you look at it and thinking, how did it take that long? That was as blatant as Joe Taylor's.
Yeah, and I think I put that in the group chat. Like, if Joe Taylor's is a handball, that's a fucking handball. I don't know what I think I even said in the group chat, I don't know what's taking them so long. And that must have been hell for anyone in the crowd, because I was watching it and I was literally like standing in my father-in-law's living room with my brother-in-law sitting there, and I'm like yelling at the TV, you cannot fucking give that. You cannot give. What's taking you so long? You cannot give that. My brother-in-law.
Well, it took about a minute to actually bring up the checking VAR graphic as well.
Yeah. Oh, inside the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think instantly on the broadcast I had, they were like, I think they're going to, one of the commentators, I don't know which one it was like, I think they're going to check this for handball. And sure enough, they did. Now, I've heard from Gary Neville and stuff like that they have VAR, not really in their ear, but right there, and they can see if they're checking something. So I'm sure they probably knew straight away. But it was definitely a let-off, because Palace, I mean, it was so easy for Palace. It was just one long ball over the top, and we got caught.
Oh, that's a lesson, because I said basically the only reason he got it there is because it got controlled by his arm. It wasn't. I don't think it was deliberate. I've seen other people say it was deliberate. I don't think it was deliberate, but it was a handball.
It was a handball. The reason why I say it's a let-off is because Kaminski makes a great save for that ball to bounce up and hit the guy on the arm before he knocks it into the net. Kaminski made a great save there. Again, Kaminski made a great save. That's why I think it was a let-off, because if we give those, and we'll get to the upcoming games soon, I'm sure, but if we give those chances to quality strikers, they're going to score them. You know, like you look at the strikers and this is my one concern going forward, is that Brentford have some really good strikers.
Yeah,
Arsenal, man. No, even without Tony, they have some decent strikers.
Mm-hmm.
Arsenal, man, it's more of a team effort. But if you give those chances to Haaland, he's going to put up a cricket score against us.
Yeah, but it's but he does that against every team. So Haaland is the ultimate cheat card if he's on form.
Yeah.
But we'll get on to that one. So I mean, shortly after that goal, we actually we did go up the other end of the score. Again, a set piece which we ranked quite highly with. Morris's flick on, which I was quite glad about because he's my fantasy football team. Then he scored. Everyone celebrating, and some points looked at me and said, "Check up there," and you just saw the dreaded checking VAR offside. I'm thinking from the corner, how the fuck can that be offside?
And straight away as well, they were like on the broadcast, I think they're going to check this. I'm like, check it for what? And immediately what went through my head was, did Morris's hand go up in the air? Looked at the replay? No. Okay, does it touch Mengi's arm? No. I'm like, what are they checking this for? And it turns out they were checking it because Chong was in the eye line of the goalkeeper.
Yeah, Chong was an offside position. Chong was in an offside position, but I mean, if it had brushed him, then yes, it would have been offside. But it's
but it didn't touch him.
Actually, I don't know what the offside rule is anymore. I don't know what the handball is anymore.
I don't think anyone's doing it. I think the offside rule is just one of these things now where it's just you play a guessing game with it. But I was just like, what is he even looking at? What, like, and again, it seemed to take, maybe it's just me because we'd gone ahead, but it seemed to take forever to get to that decision. And I was just kind of like, what are you looking at?
No, I can confirm it took forever because I said we'd also finished celebrating, and someone spotted the graphic and popped up. And what?
Yeah, and I think that's the problem with VAR, is that it takes a lifetime. And I understand they want to get the decision right, but Jesus Christ, I mean, we need to find a better way of, like, because again, this is not like American sports where the clock stops. VAR checks are going into the end of the game when you're adding on minutes, which I'm sure we'll get to. Like,
there were a lot of them, yeah.
There was 12 minutes added. We ended up playing 13. Just like, Jesus Christ, like, it's not helping. It's not helping the game get any offside and penalties. I think that's the only thing they should be used for.
Yeah, I mean, I think checking goals is probably fair enough because they hadn't checked the goals. Palace could have been 1-up.
Oh yeah. I mean, every goal should be checked. It's like in American football, every touchdown is reviewed. You know, every goal should be checked. But I'm talking about in other instances within the game.
But I mean, it's
extremely dangerous play. Extremely dangerous play. Penalties, offside. We're done.
I mean, it's almost going back to the Liverpool game again. It was, that goal went and they were checking it. I mean, I was watching it on TV, but as a pub, I couldn't hear the commentary. And then you realise after they actually were checking for a possible Liverpool penalty before it led to our goal. You think that would have been a turnaround from absolutely celebrating to suddenly being potentially 1-0 down. That would have been harsh.
I'll be honest with you. I've said this to you. If we'd have beaten Liverpool, I am married with a kid. My wife and kid already know this. If we'd have beaten Liverpool, that would have been the greatest day in my life because I really cannot stand that club.
I think, the victims basically, aren't they?
We won't get into that because we'll get in trouble.
I didn't say anything else. They'll probably pick up on it now. Hey, get the viewing figures up.
Right. But like, I said it to someone that I work with that is a big football fan. If we play the way we did against Palace, if we play the way we did against Liverpool and United against Palace, we'd win. Now, I don't think we play, as I said, I don't think we played as well, but I think we played well enough to win the game. And that's why when Palace scored, it was so deflating.
It was shades of Burnley, wasn't it? It was basically get the goal to put us ahead and then, Burnley was equalised, but get the goal and then he conceded straight away. Now, but Bell possibly got turned slightly too easily if you're being overly critical. I would say it was a great strike, and I think I hope you hold your hands up on that one, but it was frustrating. I'm not going to applaud it at the time. And
it's one of these things where you look at the Burnley, and I can't remember the team against Burnley exactly, but it went down that left side, our left side. It went down Palace's right, our left.
Yeah, but Burnley were asleep though. I mean, the Palace we weren't. I think it was Bell just got sort of. He wasn't caught napping. He just got turned slightly easier than you'd have thought. But I mean, it was good play from their player, and it was a great strike as well.
Yeah, but down their right, our left to equalise against Burnley. Down the right, our left to score the winner for Burnley. Down their right, our left to score the equaliser for Palace. That's now a problem. After we score or after we do something good, we need to make sure we're switched on. Now, as you said, Bell got turned too easily. I do think that happened. But if you look at throughout the game, at least they played it really, really well because during the game, he was going down to the byline a lot and trying to get balls across. So when he came to that shot, cutting inside, Bell was expecting him to go down the line, because that's what he'd done the whole game. And then he cut inside. Not just picking him out because everyone else is raving about him, but Barkley's jogging back. That can't happen.
I didn't really notice that. I mean, I think he got turned. I think some of the time I said, you have to hold your hands up and say it was a great strike.
It's a fantastic goal. But go back and look at the goal. Bell gets turned too easily. Yes, totally does. As I said, I think Bell thought he was going down the line because he did a lot during that game. He cut inside and he basically left Bell on his ass. But look at Barkley. Look at Barkley's position. If Barkley's not jogging back, if Barkley's, I don't want to say putting effort in because he's putting effort in, but Barkley's a little bit more aware of what could happen. He's in there and able to get a toe in and probably block or do something to put off Elise. And again, I'm not just saying this because Barkley's been raved about and ranted about all week since the game. he was fantastic, but there's still aspects of his game that need to improve. And I mean, if here's the thing. If there was an aspect of his game, and I said this earlier, if there wasn't aspects of his game that needed to improve, he wouldn't be here. He'd be playing for a top 4 team. He's that talented.
He is that talented. I mean, I think you get a lot of talented players. I mean, you're sort of criticising for maybe his defensive work, which I think is a little bit harsh in this one. But I mean, Barkley, what I would say, I was dubious when we signed him. I thought, right, this is a player I'm not sure he's going to fit into a work ethic, not just into a team. But he has picked it up. He knows what it plays translucent, and in the last few games, he's been fantastic.
He has. He's been really, 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 really good. Last couple of games, he's been really.
And I think especially previous ones, he's been kind of in and out as substitutes on other games. Maybe his head's not quite in there. Maybe he's expected there. But I think Rob Edwards has actually built him up and thinking, right, this is your role in the team. This is what we expect, and he's excelling.
I think he's a guaranteed starter at this point. I think there's no doubt in my mind he's a guaranteed starter. It's just
I think last week was thing right.
Who's going to be beside him?
Yeah, who's going to be beside him? That's the question. I mean, Nakambro is obviously the obvious one, but then you've got Lokonga to come back in. You've got Jordan Clark coming back to fitness as well. That's when it gets interesting.
Yeah, I think Clicker could be a great off the bench impact player. I think, do you know what I think has helped Barkley? The signing of Townsend. Mm-hmm. And I don't think, and here's the thing, like we talked about Barkley in the first couple of games not really hitting his stride, not really looking like, the player that he's looking like now. I think that's the case with Townsend, is that you look at the last couple of games, he's come off after 60, 70 minutes. It's obvious that he's not up to full match fitness yet, but he's shown glimpses. He's shown glimpses, and him and Barkley, and again, it could be the fact that they played in the Premier League for so many years, not necessarily together, but at the top levels, that they understand the game a little bit better. They understand what each person's trying to do.
Well, I mean, they're both former internationals with not just 1 or 2 caps. I'm not sure I meant Townsend, but Barkley's got 33 caps. Townsend's got a lot as well. And to get that many caps for England, you can't be a bad player. And they're not exactly 536.
It's only England. Let's not go overboard. It's not like they're playing. It's not like they're playing for Ireland or one of them great teams.
Oh God, you could be saying we'll sign Robbie Keane next.
Robbie Keane, there you go. That solves all our goal scoring problems.
And having said that, I'm now going to bring up the winning goal, which was actually a pass from an England international to an Irish international to a Scottish international.
Yeah. And it was the Irish international's ball into the box that was inch fucking perfect. But here's the thing. Here's something I will bring up. Why is not Ogbene playing on the right constantly? Look at that ball. What we spoke about earlier with Doughty, in that, it's so obvious that he's more comfortable on the left than he is on the right. It's so obvious. Ogbene is so much more comfortable on the right than he is on the left.
But he can play both sides, and I think
he can play both sides. Yeah,
as he fit in his team, and also I think on the left he's got to, he can link up with Doughty if he's playing the left, and you've got some serious pace overload going on there. So I was
actually surprised when I seen the team sheet on Saturday, when I seen that Doughty was playing right wing back, right full back, whatever you want to call it, that Ogbene wasn't also on the right. I was surprised by that a little bit, because they've built up such an understanding that I just thought, okay, would it really make too much of it? Because I think Townsend's pretty decent on his left foot. I think he might be majority left foot, right?
I'm not sure. I can't remember. I thought it was, but it's
I think it's quite possible that he might be actually better with his left than he is with his right. Just switch the two of them. And I like. It was just because it was just so obvious to me that Ogbene was a lot more dangerous on the right, putting balls into the box, than he was.
That was from fullback as well, of the substitutions.
Yes, exactly.
No, I mean, it's a good pass from Barkley to find the ball in from Ogbene is absolutely fantastic. However, having said that, if you're a Palace defender, you want to be clearing that. It's not an indefensible ball. It's a very good ball in, but you want to get something in it before Jacob Brown throws himself in.
So here's the thing with that. I think the defender's expecting his goalkeeper to clear it or claim it, and the goalkeeper is expecting the defender to clear it. But if you're Jacob Brown, you've got to take the chance that both of them are going to fuck up in some way, shape, or form. And he did.
And he did. And I think he's Jacob Brown. I think leaves a chance. I think he's missed 3 clear-cut opportunities, most of any of our players this season.
Yeah, he needed that.
That way, he was made up for it. I mean, he stretched to get in there, and fantastic to see that going as well.
Yeah, and the thing was as well, like you look at our starting 11 was pretty decent, but then you look at the players that came off the bench. Like Clicker came off the bench, was good. Chong came off the bench again. I think coming off the bench, Chong was fantastic. He gave us a lot of energy. Eli coming off the bench. Like I was a little bit disappointed with Eli against Liverpool when he came off the bench. I don't know why, but I was a little bit disappointed in him. But against Palace coming off the bench, he was phenomenal, fantastic. Well, and that's what you're going to need.
I mean, I think as soon as we went a goal up, I actually said to the person next to me, sort of, bring on Eli, give him something else to think about.
Yeah.
And then straight away, he was actually coming on. So it's not me having Rob Edwards-Helaire. I just thought, okay, let's have a bit different rather than sort of they're going to come back. But so obviously then, we've gone 2-1 up from there. And then you're thinking, right, can we hold on? And then there's a dreaded, I think we had this discussion. Someone said, I'll be 6 minutes injury time. I said, there's going to be 8 or 9 because there's 3 minutes their play going down injured, 3 minutes for VAR checks, and probably another 3 minutes for substitutions. And then they hold up 12 and they played almost 14 or 13 and a half.
So it was again, the broadcast I was watching, again, they must have this information beforehand, obviously. But one of the commentators turned around and goes, get ready to hear the groans around this stadium when they hold up that board with 12 minutes. And it wasn't as bad as I think he thought it was going to be. But because he turned around and said something along the lines of, get ready to hear the groans around this building, around the stadium, when the fourth official holds up 12 minutes of added on time. And I literally let out a scream. I was like, I think I scared my family. I was like, 12 fucking minutes? I was like, what the fuck?
That was a genuine reaction, I think. Yeah.
But that's the way the game is going, unfortunately.
And obviously, Palace, 12 minutes, they're pumping balls into the box. Been defending well, but he's just thinking, the part of you thinking maybe it's the Liverpool game or anything else. You're just thinking at some point there's one that's going in there. And I think the defence, all of them, absolutely fantastic trying to get in there. Kaminski, that late save. And then the ball that hit the post, it was, by the time you realise it hit the post, it rebounds out. But everyone's going, Jesus fucking Christ. And then we almost went and scored straight away from it.
There's another nominee for man of the match. That defender, A Post, was fantastic. Fucking fantastic.
Put his body on the line.
He really did. He was fantastic. But yeah, like the 12 minutes, and like you knew there was going to be more than the 12 minutes because there was stoppages within the added on time at the end of the game.
Yeah.
So you knew there was going to be more minutes. But as soon as that thing hit 12, I was just yelling at the fucking TV, like blow the fucking whistle. Seriously, just blow the whistle. I
mean, I think you had that 12 minutes. Kaminski got booked for time wasting, which I think he's going to get booked here. Which I thought 2 things: 1, it's going to get booked. 2, it's worth it.
Yeah, definitely. That's a booking you take every day of the week. The only thing is, I think they said on the commentary that we now have 6 bookings. So is that a fine or what is that?
Yeah, that's a fine.
So that's 2 fines in the space of a week. Fantastic. But that's a fine that we'll take every day of the week. Yeah. You play the game. It's time management. Every team's going to do it. It's not. You don't necessarily want the same people picking up yellow cards constantly, but you kind of look at it and go, yeah, I'll take that every day of the week. No problem.
Yeah, spread the yellows around a bit.
You take your time.
Yeah. You take your time in a situation like that. But I mean, it was only just waiting, then almost hits of Adebayo. Almost scores. It's offside, I think, as it turns out. Nobody knew that at the time. Good save from their keeper as well. The final whistle goes, and that's just celebration straight away there.
Yeah, I think the celebrations were a mix of obviously celebrations and just pure relief.
I mean, I've been at the ground for our last 2 home top flight wins.
It was one of these things where the Everton game, like, I was extremely happy after the Everton game, after we beat Everton. maybe because the ending wasn't so nerve-wracking as the Palace game. Not that I remember anyway. As far as I can remember, it wasn't that nerve-wracking. But after the Palace game, and I don't know whether it's because it's their first home win in the Premier League or what, but it was very, very emotional. Like, I was just like, I can't believe that. I just can't believe what happened. You know, it was one of them things where it's just, I think my wife was scared because I'm not normally quiet, but I was quiet. Like, at the end of the game, I let out a scream.
Hang on,
But then
was
it
your
was
wife
just
scared or thankful?
probably thankful I was fucking
Yeah.
quiet, to be honest. But it was just one of these things where I was extremely, like, I let out the scream at the end of the game, but then it was just quiet. Like, I couldn't even talk to anyone.
No, I was quite vocal after, but it was. I think it is just there to enjoy it. But I mean, so I said both our last 2 home games. I've been at both of them. The last 2 home victories. So about 30 years apart. That gives you some idea of how long.
Gives you an idea of how old you are as well.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
I think people.
But yeah, like I can't remember our last top flight win. I know I was alive for it. I would have been probably about
Aston Villa 2-0, Mark Pembrich, Mark Steen. Brian Steen, not Mark Steen.
Probably would have been about 10, 11, 12.
It would have been. It was 92.
1992. So it would have been about 10, 11, depending on whenabouts. But
I was 17, so
a little bit older than me. Hey, I'm the young.
I look better for it though.
I'm the young one on this. In case you can't notice, I'm the young person on this podcast. I'm the voice. I'm the voice of the youth.
Yeah, don't push it.
I'm not going to. But yeah, like I honestly can't remember our last top flight win. Again, I was 10, so I don't have a lot of memories from back there. But but I will say that, like, so on the last show that we recorded, we talked about a fan who got in touch with us about liking the podcast. He was from, I don't want to get where he's from wrong, but he's from America, and he became a Luton Town fan, and we've been communicating since then, talking about how he became a Luton Town fan and stuff like that. And one of the things I would say to anyone who's become a Luton Town fan within the last year and a half, maybe, since the team has really like put on a show, go check out Luton vids on YouTube and relive some of the old days, because some of the players we had were fucking amazing.
I really tried to avoid abusing when he said that anyone who's become a fan the last year. I'm thinking, don't make me say it. Don't make me say it.
No, and here's the thing. Like, it's one of these things where I think it's more accepted in America as, you know, bandwagon fans. But talking to Kevin, it was like the process he went through to pick a team. Like, he landed on Luton. And it wasn't just one of these things where, if he wanted to be a bandwagon fan, he could have picked City, treble winners. You know, he could have picked anyone. He could have picked anyone out of the top 4, top 6. You know, the fact that he picked Luton was just, and anyone that picks Luton, you know, like if you're only jumping on board now, like, I know a lot of our fans are very, you weren't there for the hard times, and I get that. But I don't want anyone to go through those hard times again. I'm very much welcome aboard. Enjoy the ride, because it's gonna be a fucking ride.
Welcome aboard. If you're nicking my tickets, I'm not going to be happy.
That, yeah. Don't nick Nick's tickets.
Right.
By the way, we're not calling you Nick anymore. We're calling you Mystic Meg, right? Because you predicted the Liverpool result.
The Liverpool result, yeah.
You said before the Palace game 2-1.
Yeah.
It was 2-1.
Forest game, I said we get something as well.
Yeah. And now you're also predicting what time the subs come off the bench at, because you said bring on Eli now and give them something different to think about, and then Eli was suddenly on the pitch. I'm starting to think you have a telepathic thing going with Rob Edwards.
Unfortunately, I also think we're not getting nothing. We're not getting anything at Brentford.
Shut the fuck up.
But I also think we're getting a point at least from the Man City and the Arsenal games.
It'll be Arsenal if it's any of them. And I think we kind of just talked about this off air. If it's gonna be one of those games, it's gonna be Arsenal. I cannot see us getting anything off City. But then again, I also said I couldn't see us getting anything off Liverpool.
And I couldn't see Wolves getting anything off City, and they got a win as well.
This is true. Very, very true. But I think, didn't Haaland come off injured in that game?
No, that was the Bournemouth game because I triple captained in that game, which was annoying.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I can't see us getting anything out of City, especially because of the Wolves victory. I think they'll be more up for it. Arsenal, right. Arsenal, I think we can get something against Arsenal, but that's 2 weeks away.
I mean, onto pundits. We've actually got a lot of pundits actually now starting to take us seriously. I mean, we've had Mika Richards a couple of weeks ago said he's liking what Luton are doing. There's some, knowing on those ones. Ian Wright was actually quite complimentary, saying getting to grips with it. Alan Shearer didn't get a chance to have a look in. We've been seeing a couple of other articles as well. So, right, Luton of the promoted side, we're the ones putting up a fight. And we are. And we've actually got something on there. So people think you're right. There's a chance. We know what our limitations are. Mm-hmm. So we can pass everything else. We know where our strengths are. Mm-hmm. I think that's what they're pushing for. And I'm going with this pundits thing with pundits giving us respect, don't you?
Yeah, Gareth Crooks is still a cunt.
Exactly. I was thinking, can I put this now? I go with your version. Yeah, Gareth Crooks, because he's made this prediction, can't take Luton seriously. Then he doubled down it when he got challenged. He's now going out of his way. I'm sure he'll say it's just paranoia. Well, no, actually, no, he won't. But I think Gareth Crooks has actually got the reputation of being a little bit odd there. But you look at his team of the week. So he picked a Man City goalkeeper because he made a defence-splitting pass.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. If you're going over the course of a season, you're picking Ederson probably every day of the week. It's Ederson or Alisson for me as the best goalkeeper in the Premier League. But if you're going week by week, who's the best goalkeeper? The last couple of weeks, it's been Kaminski.
Yeah.
Even against United, against Liverpool, he was fantastic.
I mean, I actually purposely look out for Gareth Crooks' comments now just to laugh at how bad it is and how desperate he wants to avoid praising Luton. And he saw it even better. I mean, he normally puts in goal-scoring defenders. No mention of Mengi, who had a fantastic game as well, who's got another team of the weeks. He's got the official Premier League team of the week, as long as Kaminski as well. But yeah, he picked the Palace player who scored it, and then Hodgson made some very veiled comments about the referees without getting in trouble. He should be knighted. So, and then goes, I can't see how Luton wins. So, I think as everyone points out, Goff, this is how Luton won, or how you understand it. We scored 2 goals, Palace scored 1. That's a 2-1 scoreline. He's next professional football. He should know how games are won.
We can defend crosses into the box. We just can't defend runs into the box. Palace can't defend crosses into the box. Simple. Yeah. But here's the thing. Like, as you said, he's doubling down now. And it's just, the thing is, if he comes out at the start of the season and says, Luton are going to be down by Christmas. Mathematically impossible, but it is what it is. It's whatever. Like, a lot of fans in uproar. I get it, but then to purposely just the way he's gone about it in the last couple of weeks, like it's obvious to anyone that watches the games that Kaminski's been one of the best goalkeepers in the last couple of weeks, in the last couple of match days. It's also been obvious in the last couple of weeks, in the last probably month or so more, that Bene is probably one of the best wingers, wing backs, whatever you want to call it, in the league right now. Like, he's causing problems for teams, and he's not just causing problems for teams down beside us like Palace. He's causing problems for Liverpool. He gave Trent a fucking awful time.
He destroyed a couple of times. So
yeah, like everyone talked about Doku for City against Trent this weekend. Yeah, where do you think Doku got the ideas? He got it from Ogbene. He watched tape of the Luton game and went, I can get at this guy. And that's pretty much what it was. Like, Ogbene's been one of the best players in the Premier League for just pure, like, pace and directness. Like, he's been fantastic.
Oh, he's been superb. I mean, I think in the signing he made this summer, I thought he was the more minor signing because he wasn't a big name there. He's a free transfer from Rotherham. I didn't know much about him other than the fact, he's an Irish international, so instantly you think he's probably not going to be that good. And he's
You're such a prick. No, I'll be honest with you. I stopped watching Ireland games once Steve Kenny became manager because it's just a complete fucking shit show. So I didn't know an awful lot about Ogbetti either, and I knew he scored a couple of goals for Ireland, but because I obviously keep up with the results, but I didn't know an awful lot about him, like his style of play or anything like that. But he was definitely one of them players that you thought coming in the off season was a squad rotation player. He's the player going to be coming off the bench. He's probably going to cover Kabore against City at right wing back. You know, he maybe play like 10, 15 minutes here and there, but at the start of the season, let's face it, that's the way it was.
Yeah.
But he's made a position for himself at this point. And, I mean, could not be proud of the fact that he's Irish. Like, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. But the fact that Crooks hasn't picked him, ridiculous. The fact that he hasn't picked Kaminski, ridiculous. The fact that he hasn't picked, and I know I've gone off about him, the fact that he hasn't picked Barkley. You know, if you're talking about, I'm going for technical players. Barkley's been fantastic technically in the last couple of games. Defensively, I'm a little bit meh on him, but technically going forward, I like, just come out and say you're wrong. You know, just come out and say, like, what you said at the beginning of the season that they'll be down by Christmas was impossible at the time and is even more impossible now, especially with Everton's point deductions. Just come out and say you're wrong. Like, I was wrong. I was wrong about the Liverpool game. I thought we would get hammered. You got fucking free beer out of it, but I was wrong. I have no problem in coming on this podcast and saying I was wrong.
And you're probably quite glad you're wrong.
I could have done without buying the beers, but other than that.
Hey, I'd actually forgotten about that. You could have got away with that.
Yeah, but that would have said more about me than it does about you. I'm not that type of person.
Okay.
But Brentford, what do you think about Brentford?
I think Brentford, I'm not good with feeling. I think we lose that one. Probably by the odd goal or not, but I would like to think something comes through, but it's just a gut feeling that says no, we don't.
For some reason, like, there's certain teams that every time I hear their name, I just think of certain things. And with Brentford, was it 6-0, 7-0? 7. That's instantly what I think of. Like, when I think of Brentford, I think of that. When I think of Ollie Watkins, I think of that. Like, immediately, that's just where my headspace goes.
I mean, just to balance out, because I was thinking, obviously, last time we played them, that's where injury hit and everything else. To balance out, no, actually, was it injury hit? Oh, yes, we had Izzy Brown, so no Izzy Brown, no hope, as I said.
Izzy Brown, Ross Barkley.
Yeah.
Nothing against Izzy. He was a fantastic person, and you know, it's a pity that his career was cut short, but we're not putting him and Ross Barkley in the same category or same bracket.
No, I think that says more about Graham Jones. But what I would also say about Brentford,
I forgot about him. For some reason, like, probably best, yeah.
But what I would say about Sir Brentford, without making any further predictions, Brentford was also the first away game I saw Luton win.
So you're going to the game?
No, I'm not. I've got no chance of it. But that was in the, I think we had the whole 91-92 season without winning a single away game. The season got relegated. 92-93 got us back in November. We went down to Brentford, went a goal down. They played We Will Rock You, which everyone was taking the piss out of. Then Julian James scored this absolutely fantastic 25-yard cross.
Loved Julian James. Fucking loved Julian James, Kingsley Black. Oh my God.
Kingsley Black can be told by that, but Julian James sort of, sliced across into the back of the net to equalise. Actually, quite a fantastic goal. And then Phil Gray got some, a late winner as well.
That brings back fucking memories. Like, I remember Phil Gray was fantastic for us as well. But Julian James, Kingsley Black, like, it was weird because at that point, like, it was Julian James, Kingsley Black, Julian James were kind of like the favourites. Then it kind of moved on to Scott Oakes.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't have, well, Julian James was there and all the long bits of, Kingsley Black was gone way before Scott Oakes got there.
Yeah, Kingsley Black. And then once Black left, it was kind of onto Scott Oakes. Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think I've had a favorite player since Scott Oakes. I think Ogbene might be taking that place right now. I think he's been absolutely fantastic. And the fact that he's Irish. but I don't think I've had a favorite player since then. Until now.
Okay. I think I'm thinking. I think favorite player is something you have when you're a kid. You get a bit older and you think, okay, you have. I mean, this team. It's unfair to pick our favorites.
Yeah, I agree there. It is something that's more aimed towards, like, obviously in the 90s, I was a kid / teenager, so it's more obvious then. But I mean, there's definitely been players, without calling them favorite players, there's definitely been players in the last 10 years, on this journey that I look back at and go, yeah, we wouldn't be here without them. Like,
I mean, don't get me wrong. I've had players I absolutely despise the name of. I mean, players as in they got paid by us.
Aaron O'Connor?
No.
He seems to despise us.
Yeah, fucking. But it's. I was thinking more about the players who got paid by us, never got paid by us.
Oh, we can say his name. I don't give a fuck. Danny Spiller. What a fucking wanker.
Yeah, I wasn't avoiding his name.
Oh, good. I won't. Yeah, no. I mean, obviously, there's players that you absolutely fucking hate. But, like, you look at players that, like, to me, you look at and go, and I know this is getting completely off topic and we're running really long at this point, but players that you look at and go, we wouldn't be here without them. And you go back 10 years to the conference, like Mark Tyler in goal.
Yeah.
I don't think, like, what a phenomenal goalkeeper for that level. And then you kind of start moving up the levels. James Collins, where would we be without his goals? And again, Irish international. We have a trend here. The Irish internationals seem to do well for Luton.
Well, I mean, James Collins was kind of, League One up to Championship, really, wasn't he?
Yeah, League Two. I think we got him League Two, the last season in League Two, because he scored. Didn't he score in the 7-2 opening day win against Yeovil?
8-2. It was. Was
8-2?
I was trying to think.
That was League Two. That was the year we went up. We ended up second behind. Was it Accrington?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. And then League One.
I thought it was League One he signed us in, because I think it was obviously the previous one. It was
definitely League Two, because I remember he took I want to say he took a step back, and I don't necessarily know if that means League One to League Two, or he was already with League Two and he went to a team who'd not necessarily got promoted but weren't up there. I think Swindon. You're checking it now. You're googling it. I can hear your keyboard typing. But I'm nearly certain he came in. I'm nearly certain he came in League Two.
I thought he came in League One, to be honest. So
because we only played one season in League One.
Yeah.
And that was, like, again, it was him that was just phenomenal. Him and Hilton.
But yeah,
obviously Moncur scores the goal that everyone knows about and remembers, but against Portsmouth, but he was the one.
Right, yeah, it was League Two. Yeah, you're right.
I was right. You owe me beers.
I didn't make that bet.
I made it on your behalf.
It doesn't work like that.
But yeah, like there's certain players, like, and then in the championship, you look at the championship and you look at Eli Carlton. There's certain players that you think we wouldn't have got here without them.
Glenn Ray in the championship.
Glenn Ray. Tom Lockyer.
Yeah.
Obviously still with the club.
And then obviously there's one player who's gone through a whole lot as well.
Pelly.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's one of these things where we went up to League Two and I was going, yeah. And we went up to League One and everyone's like, oh, Pelly's out of his depth. Nope. And we went to the championship and it's like, oh, Pelly's out of his depth. Nope. We went up to the Premier League and the first couple of games was like, oh, Pelly's out of his depth. Guarantee you by the end of the season, Pelly will be just fine.
I'm just waiting for that first Pelly banger in the Premier League just to complete his game.
Cannot wait.
Everybody wants that, don't they?
Yeah. Like, there was a couple of times on Saturday where he got the ball and it was like, just fucking shoot at Pelly. Like, you're not marvelous. So you can actually shoot.
Marvins probably can. Well, Marvins can take a penalty, so you're thinking surely it's the same in principle.
And that's all that matters. That's all that mattered last May as well. Is that
Anyway, I think we're way over time. You're probably going to cut some of this
we
out.
are. I'm definitely going to cut out the bit where your missus walked in.
Twice. Yeah.
And I will say this, it may be just because I'm drinking so much of it, but this shit gets better the more you drink.
There you go. You converted.
There you go.
This podcast is now sponsored by Stella Artois.
Don't say that. We'll get cut off YouTube.
This podcast is sponsored by beer.
By beer, just in general, beer.
Yeah.
Next week it'll be wine, as long as Nick's not going on vacation again. Which I do want to pull you up on. You plan your vacation. You plan your vacation around the United and Liverpool games.
I'll plan my vacation on my missus' 50th birthday.
Forget about that. It's United and Liverpool games. They gotta understand this shit.
Yeah, well, to be honest, it's actually quite nice. Going there, I think with 30 degrees temperature, get back here. I thought lands at Stansted. Oh, it's actually not too bad t-shirt weather for some reason. Go as far as Norwich. Thought, fuck me, it's cold.
It's actually lovely over here right now. It's just the right temperature for me, and all of a sudden we become the fucking weather channel. But yeah, it's just the right. Like it's not too hot, it's not too cold. I'm able to make my Irish stew, which is boiling on the stove right now, and I'm looking forward to that just as much as I'm looking forward to the Brentford game.
Yeah, it's about 3 degrees here. It's cold.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I'm fine. We're used to it.
Thank you, Stella, and thank you, Luton.